Welcome everybody to episode 39. 39?
30, I think so. Is
Yeah.
it not?
Yeah. 39, yes.
Okay,
We're
cool.
on episode 39.
Nice. Yep.
Welcome.
It's gonna be a good one, I think.
I think so. It's gonna be a little bit different than something we've done.
Yeah.
And we're both bummed because we were gonna do this one in the car.
Yeah,
We were. We
we
were
were.
so close.
We were this
We had
close.
keys, we had our keys in our hands.
Yeah. And then
Yep.
and
Then
then
what?
our Aspen got sick.
Oh yeah, Aspen got sick. She and Luke. Oh my gosh, my kids have been so sick.
My kids just
Fevers.
got over bad cold slash bronchitis.
Yeah,
But
that's
your
basically what
kids
my
have
kids have.
fevers. That
Well, yeah,
sucks.
but with the fever. Fever and like nausea without throwing up.
Oh, that's the worst. You know what? Though I will always refuse to throw up.
Me
I
too.
I
I'm the
will
same
not.
way.
I will let myself be sick until it
I'm just
goes
like
away. Yeah. I'm just like
dry heaving,
Tums,
just
Tums.
sipping water.
Yeah. Like on Bridesmaids when she's like forcing an almond into her mouth and then
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
me. I
Oh,
will not.
same though. Because I panic. I really think that like as I'm like throwing up, I'm like, this is it. Like
This
this
is the
has
end.
to be how I'm gonna die. Because
Yeah.
it feels like this is what death has to be.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm losing my soul as we
Yeah.
speak.
My soul is being, what is it called?
Projected.
Yeah, out of me. So yeah,
Yeah.
I can't. And I cry every time I throw up.
Me
I
too.
just
Just
whimper.
like
Yeah.
like wiping off sweat and tears at the same time. Just like,
Yeah.
oh, I did such a good job, but oh my God, that sucked.
That's so funny. That's funny. That's
Uh,
the same. I wonder if we have some kind of trauma with throwing up or if it's just a normal reaction. Because other people are like, yeah, if you throw up, you just, it's over. And I was like, but it's, but I don't want to go through
yeah.
that to get.
Like I remember all the times I've thrown up, you
I
know?
specifically remember smells and all the gross stuff, and I just can't. I
Yeah.
can't do it. I can't let food be
Mm.
ruined for me again. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. But anyway,
Well,
how are you lately?
I'm fine.
Yeah, everything's a-okay.
Well, listen, I know I told you a
What?
little bit about this, but I went and got a massage yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So, Josh bought me a massage for my birthday last year. It's almost been
Yeah.
full circle another year. And I was never able to get an appointment. So I finally got an appointment, but in a different city. So that's annoying.
Hmm.
Anyways, and I asked for medium because I was like, I don't want them just to caress me. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I do want a little like massaging. And
Uh-huh.
so, um, yeah, I'm in pain. I'm in a lot of
Still.
pain. Yeah,
That was yesterday that you went,
yeah,
right?
so the tops of my shoulders and in my neck, I'm bruised to where it hurts to touch.
Oh.
And that's uncomfortable. And she's like, yeah, this is probably why you get headaches, is because there's so much tension right there. But
Oh.
then and I told you this, but like she had me put my arm, I was on my face. She put my arm behind my back, and you know how your shoulder blade kind of lifts? Well, she dug her
Right.
elbow freaking right into under my shoulder blade, and I
Oh
really thought I
my
was gonna cry,
gosh.
and I was like, can you stop doing that? Like I just like this is not how I wanna lose my arm.
That is
So
so bizarre to me. Like
yeah.
I've never had a massage, like a professional massage, but like I would never think that you'd be in more pain after,
Well, I had a
you
prenatal
know?
massage like 9 years ago, and that was
Yeah.
marvelous. That was so great.
Right. So whatever they did to you then, I really think you should just go back in and be like, "Oh, I guess I'm pregnant.
Oh,
I need
can
a
I get
prenatal
a massage?
massage."
Yeah, or I'll just be like, can
Yeah.
you just be as gentle as you would be if I was carrying life? Like, just like
Right.
treat me as if I'm creating a gift to the world and that you
Right.
don't want to injure me because oh my gosh, that hurts so bad. And like I did try to tell her one time. I was like, "Can you make that a little lighter?" And then I felt stupid. And so I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna be in pain. Like I'm just
You're
gonna
like, I'll
let it.
just take it.
I'll just take it
So,
because I felt bad."
so how long does the massage last?
It's
Or how long
about
did yours last?
so I signed up for a 60-minute massage, but that includes like the dress down, dress up time. So it was about 50
Oh,
minutes.
shit. So you have to like hurry
Yeah, they give you
and get
five
dressed.
minutes to get undressed and then 5 minutes to get dressed. But
Hmm.
like I felt like I was fine with it. Like she was like, "You're fighting me a lot," because she kept like freaking getting in places that I'm like, this doesn't feel like you're supposed to be there. Like
Yeah.
like the back of your head, you know how there's like at the base of your skull, basically, there's like those muscles
Hmm.
there. She was digging into those like they were knots. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's my bone. Like, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to like rub the shit out of that. That hurts really bad. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I should. I don't know. If it was
That's
just not
so
good.
my anxiety could never handle that either because it'd be like you don't want to insult them. You're like, I don't want to say that you're bad at your job, but like stop doing what you're doing,
But then
because
I was
it's
like, am
not
I supposed to say like, okay, is it supposed to hurt to a certain point? You know what I mean? Because
right.
there's knots. Like if you're just like rubbing it like this, like really soft, it's not gonna do any work. So I'm like, maybe I'm supposed to like feel it
Yeah.
and have it be in pain, but I just didn't expect the bruising. But she's like, you should probably come back every 4 to 6 weeks. I'm like, no. Like I was
Yeah.
just like, I don't want to do that. And also it's very expensive, so I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Hmm.
Thanks anyways.
I mean,
But
that's what they tell you for everything, like 4 to 6 weeks to get your hair re-dyed, 4 to 6 weeks to get your hair cut, 4 to 6 weeks to get to see a chiropractor. Like I
yeah,
swear that's just like the standard to do any kind of maintenance
you're like if
on
they
your
all land on
body.
the same week, then you're broke, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Well, what are you up to?
Well, my phone is broken. That's what I'm up to. It's
Oh,
completely so I dropped it a while ago, and then I also dropped it in a sink full of water, and it's been dropped a few times, and now it's just I don't know if you can see it, it's just a green screen.
oh yeah.
uh, anyway, I went to the Xfinity store yesterday, which is like 45 minutes away from my house, and the person there was super unhelpful, but she basically was like, call this number and you can, have file an insurance claim and stuff and have your phone sent to you within 1 to 2 business days. And this was yesterday, which was a Thursday. And I'm like, okay, so 1 to 2 business days puts me at Monday at the
Mm-hmm.
earliest, probably.
Right.
So I was like, well, that freaking sucks. And I was also like, how do you expect me to call when my phone is broken?
Right.
And she was like, well, you can just buy a whole new phone. And I'm like, bitch. And yeah, I was really mad. So I stormed out. Not really stormed out. I just said, I'll figure this out. Grabbed her stupid sticky note with the phone number, left, and then cried in my car for a second because I was so frustrated. Went
Oh
home,
no.
looked it up online, and I filed like an insurance claim and I paid this deductible.
On the
And it
site?
said, yeah, on the site. And
Okay.
it said, take this to one of these locations and they can repair it at that location. Well, I was going to do that today, but then I was also looking at it and it says, but if you don't, and at the very bottom it says, but if you don't think this is repairable, call this number and we can have a new device sent to you. And I was like, again, how do they expect me to call if I don't have
Mm.
a freaking phone that works?
Right.
So I'm going to use Mitch's phone later and
Oh,
call, but it's like now I'm another day behind.
right. So
So
it'll likely be Monday or Tuesday.
at the earliest.
Yeah, that sucks.
So I'll be without a phone for a while. But I did find an old phone in like my desk drawer. So I'm able to use like social media when I'm like at home because it's just
Right.
hooked up to the Wi-Fi. So I'm still able to be on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, things like that. It's just when I'm out and about, you know?
Yeah, you're like, I'm
I
disconnected. It's probably a weird feeling to like not be able like to call
yeah.
anybody.
Oh, and well, okay, so my phone still technically works, just the screen doesn't, right? So like
Uh-huh.
I'm still receiving text messages and all that. And I took my phone with me yesterday to go to the store, to the
Mm.
Xfinity store and like pick up kids from school, all that stuff. And my Bluetooth was connected to the car, and guess what it's stuck on?
What?
The freaking Mormon Stories podcast.
Oh.
And so it's like that's all I'm able to listen to in the car right now is Mormon Stories.
Dang. Is it good on a good episode at least?
No.
Is there a button in your car that you can skip?
I can skip ahead in the episode like 5 seconds at a time.
Oh, but you can't go a full episode?
Mm-mm.
No, that's the
I
worst.
know. I know.
Too bad
It's
you were
stuck.
on a freaking good episode. Dang.
Hmm.
Dang.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what I'm up to.
Is there a
Um,
like a button in your car that you can do like because I have a button where I can like talk to Siri.
mm-mm,
Hmm.
I don't think so. If I have it,
It
I've never
should be on your
used it.
steering wheel and it has like a face or a head with like the sound
Oh,
coming out.
yeah, I have that button. I'll try it. I've never
Try it in
used
your
it.
car next time.
Okay. Because maybe that'd be nice to change it. Because it's like, I don't want to listen to, like, when you want to listen to like Kesha or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. And then you get in the car and you're like, the gospel really taught me about this in my youth. And it's like, kill
You're
me.
like, I can't listen to this anymore.
Right.
Or on the
Uh,
back of your steering wheel, there might be buttons that you can skip.
yeah, that's the one that skips only like a few seconds ahead.
Oh, that sucks so bad.
I know. I
Oh,
even tried like
sorry.
holding it down. I tried everything other than that talking button. So let me try.
Yeah.
I'll try that one.
So should we talk about how this episode is different?
Oh, yeah. We like glazed over that.
Yeah. So this episode's a little different because we really wanted to record together, but in
Hmm.
the car as we started. Because we want to do that every so often, but this time we just ran into things that were more important, so we're doing them
Hmm.
over Zoom. So this time our stories topics kind of are on theme with each other,
Right.
which we don't
Same,
normally do.
yeah, same location.
Yeah, kind of.
And we could have done this kind of thing for like Liberty Park, for example,
Yeah.
if you guys have listened to that one. So this one, I started looking at the location and I'm just like, holy crap, like this is crime heavy. So I was like,
Yeah.
April, do you want to take a look at this and see what you find? So
Hmm.
we decided
Yeah.
to kind of make it well, I don't know what you call it, that one, like just a all in one
Yeah. So
episode.
Katie doesn't necessarily know the details of my story, and I don't necessarily know the
Right.
details of hers. It's just kind of all, it kind of all kind of works together in a way. So,
Yes.
yeah. So I'm going to tell you the story of Kaylin Louder.
Hmm.
I got a lot
That
of my,
sounds familiar.
yeah,
Louder.
this is from 2014.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, and one of the the Facebook group of the missing or the, her missing whatever, you liked one of the posts from that long ago. It was kind of funny.
really?
Yeah,
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I know. I thought it was cool. Okay.
Wow. So yeah, I've heard of this person before. I just don't know. I don't remember
Okay, well, I'll
details.
tell you about it. But I got a lot of my information from obviously Fox 13 News, Deseret uh News. There are a couple YouTube videos of creators that have followed or have covered the story.
Hmm.
And the Zion's Lost podcast also did an episode, which I didn't completely like listen to the whole episode, but they always do a really good job. Okay, so Kaylin Lauder was born January 21st, 1984 in American Fork to her parents, Jesse and Suzanne Lauder. She graduated from Lehigh High School and then moved on to get a bachelor's degree in social work from Utah State University. She was beautiful, spirited young woman. She loved animals, especially her pug she named Phyllis, which I freaking love when
Aw,
people name their dogs human names. It's my favorite. Um,
Phyllis. That's
Phyllis.
so
Oh,
cute.
so cute. Anyway, so she was working as a social worker and had a condo in Murray, Utah. But for unknown reasons, Kaylin was let go from her job as a social worker at a private boys' school. And she was struggling to find a stable job afterwards. So about around this time, it was about September 2014. She was in the thick of her job hunt, spending a lot of time adjusting her resume, applying and interviewing for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
On September 26, 2014, Kaylin got news from a company she had applied for, and it wasn't good news. She was turned down for the job. She was obviously upset. She talked to her mom almost every single day, and her mom said, yeah, she was really bummed about the news.
Mm.
That night, Kaylin called 911 a few minutes before 9 a.m. She reported a large fight involving firearms and individuals at the condo's clubhouse.
That's
She
scary.
told the officer or the 911 operator that there was a fight happening and they said, are weapons involved? And she said yes. And they said, what kind? And she said guns. So the officers obviously went to the clubhouse, and when they got there, they saw that there was a wedding reception taking place at the clubhouse. But um
At a condo clubhouse.
I
Hmm.
know. I was like, I mean, it could have been just like a low budget thing, but
Yeah.
um
I
they
just never
asked
thought. That's brilliant. Because it has like a little kitchen and everything.
yeah, you don't have to do much, right?
And a pool.
And a pool or a playground.
Or a
Anyway,
playground for the
yeah,
children. Yes.
right. So the officers asked around at the reception and said, was there a fight happening? And they said no one could remember a fight happening. We're like, no. And they're like, are there any
Hmm.
guns on the premises? And everyone said no, or at least the people
Hmm.
that they talked to.
Seems suspicious.
Right. So later that night, Kaylin called 911 again. She hung up though. So like right when they answered, she hung up. So the dispatcher called her back and she told them that she was fine. But the dispatcher did say that Kaylin seemed confused and was mumbling a lot and didn't remember her own address. She did mention that she lived in a don't meddle, don't tell neighborhood and she wanted to keep her friends safe. Um, so that was kind of weird, but what ended up happening was they sent officers to her house anyway just to do a well check on her.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got to the condo, her roommate said that she had left.
Oh my
So
gosh.
the next morning, around 8:18 a.m., Kaylin called 911 for a third time, saying her apartment was being burglarized, and the dispatcher stayed on the phone with her while the police headed her way. Do you want to hear the 911 call or should I just
Yeah,
explain?
let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, give me a sec because the best
Okay.
recording I could find was on someone else's YouTube channel.
And I can probably put a link like on our video here and then we
Okay.
can put it in our sites and
Yeah, it'll be in the sites for sure. But let me get to the right
so
spot.
can I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
The second 911 call where she was like acting confused and mumbly and like not sure if her sorry, hold on. I can't see my screen. Okay, I think I did it. I think I canceled it, but I might have snoozed it, so that might go off again.
Okay.
Anyway, um, oh, the second 911 call.
Uh-huh.
Do they know for sure if she made that call inside of her apartment, or could she have made it outside of her apartment somewhere
Um,
else?
you'll know that it was in her apartment because you'll see why. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay, ready?
What's the YouTube channel?
It's called Rachel Shannon True Crime.
Okay.
Okay. But they got access to this 911 call. And I still haven't figured out how to request records. I'm still trying to figure it out. But okay, here.
And the phone number you're calling from?
801. Get the out of my house.
And repeat the phone number for verification.
8.
Okay, do you know who this person is?
No, I don't. I just know that there's an intruder in my house.
You don't know who they are?
No, I don't. Please hurry.
Are you at the location now?
Yes, I am.
Were weapons involved or mentioned?
They're not talking or responding. I'm just telling them to leave so I can hear them taking things.
So you haven't seen them, you can just hear them?
Yes, correct.
Are you or anyone else in immediate danger?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay, are you able to get yourself to safety?
I just want to answer that while he's here.
I'm sorry, what?
No.
Can you talk freely with me?
Yeah.
Okay, where exactly are you?
I'm in the back bedroom.
Okay.
Karen,
Where did
lock
the
your door.
suspect enter the building?
There's only one door. On the west side.
Okay, where are the possible exits from the building?
There's only one. Get out of my house.
Is there anyone else in the building who belongs there?
Yes, there's 6 apartments.
I'm sorry, what?
6.
There's 6 people?
6 apartments.
Okay, is there anybody else in your apartment that should be there?
I believe she is here. I have a roommate
Where is she at?
next door to me.
Okay, I'm just going to stay on the line with you until officers get there, okay? Just let me know if anything changes. What is your last name?
Louder.
And your first name?
Kaylin.
It's what?
Kaylin?
Can you still hear them?
Yes.
Where does it sound like they're at?
The front room. Near the entrance. It's a small place. Shut up.
Are they saying anything?
Yeah, I heard someone say, hey, go in there, so there's obviously 2 of them. Hey, Karen, lock the door. There's something going on in there. Come here. Yeah. They might have left.
Okay, what's going on now?
Listen to the
Hello?
conversation with her and her roommate.
Think they left?
They've left now?
Yeah, so I'm just going to look and see if anything's been taken. Someone opened the door, and I heard them come in, so
Okay,
I know that
do
this
you know
happened.
where they went at all?
No, don't do that, Carol. The door's still locked. It's impossible. They must have a key or something. Because when I took the dog out, I heard people talking. And there was people last night, like, sitting outside the window. And so they, like, were scoping us out or something. Nobody knows about this. Oh, scary. About, like, the fake key? Or the ID? Yeah, but nobody knows about it. It's impossible. Well, I took it out. Like, I had it on my person. I swear to God, someone opened the door. And there's actually, like, people like, no, Rachel. Like, people see me get out there all the time. Yeah, here's the thing. It's fake. Alien. Mm-hmm. And then that, why is the door still locked? Well, I can't explain that, but I heard, like, 2 people talking. Is the officer close?
What was that?
Is the officer close?
I'm not sure where they're coming from. They're on the way. I don't know where they're coming from, though.
Okay. Where do you want them? The top box. Bathroom. Do what in the bathroom? We have a clock in the bathroom, so it's 6. Yeah, I know. Right. So if something's sticking back, you don't have to, I have
Wow.
Yeah, so as you can hear, right? She had she called 911. She thought there was someone in her house. She's in her bedroom with the door closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, her roommate's home, but she's hearing someone in her house. But as you heard, once her roommate got to her, she's like, the door's still locked. There's no one here. Like, our deadbolt is locked. No one is here. So how would anyone get in? Right? And then you hear
Mm-hmm.
Kaylin say, well, someone was outside my window last night. So they're
Oh, I
scoping
missed
us
that
out.
part.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
like, she clearly thought someone was in her house. Whether or not someone was, there's no evidence to show that there was. Once the police got there, they noted that they didn't see any signs of a break-in. Nothing was missing.
Really?
Yeah. So,
And she sounded scared.
yeah, she did. I feel like she sounded scared until her roommate, I think she said her name was Carol. She's like, Carol,
Uh-huh.
shut the door. Carol, stop doing that. To me, it seems like she was scared up until her roommate was there. And then for some reason, it felt like she calmed down a little bit because she's like, Carol said, the door's locked. It's impossible. And Kaylin said, well, I can't explain that, but someone was in here. Okay. So,
You know what? Seeing her pictures, I had
mhm.
like flashbacks because I followed this case.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually remember I almost went and joined the search party to go look for her,
Mm.
and I almost went to the vigil.
Oh, really?
There was two things that I had it scheduled in my phone and like something came up and I couldn't go.
Oh, wow.
Because if I remember right, that was a really 2014 was like a crazy year for me. But anyway, that's when
Yeah,
I had Bell's palsy and
right.
stuff like that. So like anyway, long story. But
Right.
I do remember this. And doesn't she live in Murray,
Yeah.
right? And she lives like really close to the Jordan River.
Yes.
I remember this because I almost even went in my own car just to go like scope it out and be like, what can I find that would
Right.
help? Like it was so on my mind then. That's why I remember that name because it was so important to me at the time. I was like, what's going on with this girl? Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. And so, um, so that day she talked to her mom and she said she was super embarrassed about the 911 call. She was like, I swear there was someone here, but I'm so embarrassed that like they kind of, were like, no one's here. Like, you're
Yeah.
being weird. Um,
Which is like, oh my gosh, could you imagine?
right.
Because either you're imagining it and you
Hmm.
start to feel crazy,
Yeah.
or it happened and you're being gaslit,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. I have a couple theories. So I'll share those at the end because
Okay.
I'm curious what your thoughts are. Okay.
Okay. Do you remember this when it was happening? Like
I
when it was in the news?
I do. I was 2014. That was the year I got married.
Hmm.
And I remember it happening and it being all over the news. Um, but I don't remember, like, I remembered her face
Yeah.
and her first name. Like, I saw
Mhm.
Kaylin and I remember seeing her face. I'm like, she's so cute. And I remember like being like surprised that she was like a social worker and I'll get to like where I was surprised because
Yeah.
like maybe we can cut this part out, but I was surprised that they
Hmm.
were like playing it off as her being crazy.
Yes, and that's I remember at the time I thought that exact same thing. I'm like, it just doesn't seem to fit. Like
Right.
obviously you don't know her and
Right.
like people can put on whatever kind of like front they want on social media and
Yeah.
whatever, or even like to their family and then behind closed doors like they're a mess. Like
Right.
totally. but like what they were saying, it's like I just don't see it,
It
you know?
didn't it
It didn't
didn't
fit.
feel right.
I didn't believe it. That's why I'm like,
Yeah,
something seems off about the whole case.
right.
Oh, I'm so glad you're covering this one because oh my gosh.
Well, and I'm glad
Okay.
you suggested the location because I this wasn't on my list surprisingly, and then I was like, how is this not on my list? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that night around 7 p.m. on September 27th, oh sorry. Yeah, September 27th, 7 p.m., Kaylin left her condo without shoes, without her phone, without her dog, and
Hmm.
then no one saw her again. Susie, Kaylin's mom, had been talking with her, like I said, basically every day, but by Monday, so the 27th was a Saturday. Um, and by Monday, her mom hadn't heard from her and she was starting to really worry. So her dad, Jesse, also attempted to reach her and also had no luck. By the next day on Tuesday, Kaylin's roommate, Carol, called her parents to see if maybe they had heard from Kaylin, and neither of them had. Jesse, her dad, immediately went to Kaylin's apartment to see if he could get an idea of maybe where she was or what was going on. And he obviously didn't find Kaylin there, but he did see that she left behind her shoes, purse, phone, and Phyllis. So obviously they immediately reported her missing to authorities. Um,
Right. Sorry,
Kaylin,
how long after was this from that 911 call?
so the 911 call, the first two
Mm-hmm.
were on the 26th, the night of the
Okay.
26th. The next morning, the 27th, is when that recording happened of that 911 call.
Morning.
And then she went missing that night. Like that was
I
the last
see.
time anyone saw her was the night of the 27th.
Okay, got it.
So Kaylin's mom, Susie, said that when she talked to her, she seemed totally normal. She was working on her resume. That Saturday, she decided to spend the entire day working on her resume and cleaning her condo, just kind of doing Saturday stuff, right? Chores and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Kaylin's roommate though said something completely different. Carol said that she noticed Kaylin was acting delusional and kind of crazy. Like she was off and just didn't seem like she was in her right mind. So,
I do not like this Carol.
yeah,
I'm sus.
I'm
She is
very,
sus.
I have opinions and I don't want to like slander anybody's character, but I do believe there's something else. More
I feel like
information.
I feel like there's two different pictures being painted.
Yes.
And but that's just so hard too, though, to be fair, because like
Yeah.
your roommates probably know you better than your parents do.
True. Yeah. I mean, they see you, like, especially if you live with them, like, obviously they see you every day, and your parents, you're
Hmm.
going to put your best foot forward on the phone with your parents if
So they
you,
don't worry and like,
right.
fuck
Right.
you, right?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
I've done that. I've even done that where I'm like, I've had the worst day, but like I don't want to talk about it. And if I like have a hint in my voice to my mom,
Right.
she's
She
gonna
knows.
know.
She's like,
And then
what's
we're gonna have a
happening?
whole conversation, and then I'm gonna spiral, and then it's gonna be a
I know.
thing.
Yeah. It's funny because
So
I feel like mom just can tell. She's like, what's wrong? Like,
yeah,
like
what is
that
it?
really, really quick, like under her voice or under, she's like, what's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
What's happening?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like that.
Um,
You sound just like her saying that too. What's wrong?
That's funny.
uh
Uh,
anyway.
funny.
So that's hard. That's hard because like
Yeah.
I can see it both ways. Like even though I'm pretty suspicious of this Carol person,
Yeah.
only because like my mind is thinking one thing.
Yeah.
But to be fair, she probably has seen a whole nother side of Kaylee than
Yeah.
her parents.
So
So
I have a couple theories, but I'll share them at the end because I think it makes sense, but it also still doesn't give any clues as to what's going on. But anyway, okay.
okay, got it.
So I'm gonna send you another thing.
Okay.
Um, really quick. Upon investigation, the police found a surveillance video that
Mhm.
alarmed them. Um,
Oh.
so I want to get your opinion, and I'm going to send you, it's a link to a Fox 13 news article that has the video of the surveillance stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let me get that sent to you so you can see.
When was it? Like, was it that night that she went missing or?
Yes, it was around 3. No, sorry, it was at 5:45-ish.
Okay. Ah,
Okay.
I feel like this is all coming back to me because I'm like,
I
man, I
know.
remember following this so closely. Like, you know how the Idaho murder case is happening?
Yeah.
Like, as close as that. Like, I was, oh, like I obsessed over it because I'm like, what happened?
This is one of those that I also obsessed over. And then in the same year, um, that's when Mason Smith went missing in St. George. And I was like,
Oh, really?
no, it wasn't. Was it the 2014 or 2015? But I just remember so many people were going missing. It was freaking me out. Share screen. Share. Okay. I don't want this. Sorry, my screen's super dirty. Okay. I
I
don't.
can't see that your screen's dirty, you dummy.
Oh yeah.
It's not actually sharing your screen. Oh, oh, okay. I remember I've seen this. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the sun is shining on this, so I gotta move it just so I can watch it better with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we need sound?
No, it doesn't have any sound.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so you're gonna see her over here, right? She's taking
Yeah.
out her dog. Her dog is going to the bathroom. And this right here is like a little creek that connects to Jordan River.
Okay.
This is the parking lot to her the condo.
Mm-hmm.
So you see her hands on her hips waiting for her dog to go to the bathroom, which I've done that many a times. But
Relatable.
then this is a little
Relatable.
bit later. She's coming back from that creek and she's holding her
Where did
dog.
that where did the car go?
Well, this is just kind of a time lapse, like it skipped forward.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she has no shoes on. She's in shorts. It's raining. She puts her dog down, and you know what the police say?
Hmm.
It looks like she's having a very animated conversation with herself. I'm like, dude, she's talking to her dog.
She's definitely talking to her dog 'cause that dog's being stubborn. She's like, get your butt over here. And
Yeah.
then she's like, come on, let's go. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Then her dog
Oh,
goes
if they saw
back.
how I talk to Philly, they would think I'm a complete like I've lost it.
Yeah, like I'm also crazy. So that car's back. So
Okay.
I kind of feel like sometimes maybe this isn't in the best order. So
Okay.
you see her coming back around, she's running. Okay, so in
Take your
this
dog.
this looks like to me that her dog maybe wandered off farther that way than she normally does, and maybe she can't get there with her bare feet. And so she's
Oh,
running after wherever her dog is. That's what I think is
yeah.
happening, right?
Yeah.
So
Could
then
be.
then you see a
Although it kind of looks like she ran like away from the river, like the little creek. Like she ran,
like running from something.
yeah, like it looked like she was running like at a diagonal path, not necessarily behind the cars. Like she would
Yeah.
like you would assume she would like kind of cut that corner there and then run, but no, she kept like an
Let's
angle.
put it
Yeah, go
back a little
back.
bit.
Sorry if you're just listening to this. You'll have to go look at the YouTube video. April will definitely. Hey, and we'll share this in our Instagram story, but
Yeah, for sure.
this is
Okay, wait.
interesting to see.
Okay, so then there's this red car, which some people said that this was Carol's car, but do you see how she like slowed down right there and then
Hmm.
went and parked? So she is going to park.
Why didn't she just park right there?
And that's the end.
Maybe she was thinking about parking there.
So
And I was like, nah.
let's watch it one more time all the way through without me stopping and going.
Okay. But yeah, next time they'll watch that path.
Okay, why isn't it? No. Okay. Is it playing? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Waiting for her dog to go pee. Come on, Phyllis. It's time to go inside. It's raining. I'm cold.
Right?
And I don't have shoes on. So hurry, is what I'd be
Don't I see
saying.
something? Don't I see something cool?
Uh-huh.
Can you see that?
Wow. Okay. Now she comes out. She's holding Phyllis. She's looking around for some reason. Maybe she's like, where did that car go? I don't know. And she says, Phyllis, time to go inside. And then
Mm-hmm.
Phyllis says no.
Yeah, Phyllis is not moving.
And then she's like, Phyllis, come on. What are
Mm-hmm.
you doing?
Like, why aren't you going inside? Like,
Okay, fine, go pee again then.
it's raining.
And then she's following Phyllis.
Oh, Phyllis is being so stubborn. What's
Then
this red car over here?
that looked like her
Roommate?
roommate's car.
Hmm.
Then her roommate's car comes back. I feel like they have this out of order. Don't you think? Because that same car kept coming back to park there.
That red one?
Yeah. No, the one that was parked where she's walking.
Yeah, it might. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Anyway, so the police are
Mm.
saying the police are saying that that shows that she was delusional, that she was crazy or going through a psychotic episode because she was talking to herself. And I was like, do none of these police officers have a dog? Like, for real, do they really not have a dog? Because, like, you,
Right.
I've seen you talk to Philly, you've seen me talk to my dogs. Like, we're not, it's just, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think she's crazy, is
Anyway,
what I'm saying.
I don't either. And if she is, then I am. So,
Right. If anyone who talks to their dog is crazy, then I'm nuts. Okay.
right.
So, let me get back to my story here. Okay. So, you can see it's raining. She's bare feet in the parking lot. And um that's the last like visual of her. Um and her parents are saying they don't see anything strange about that. Police are saying it means she's crazy or something, like she wasn't in her right mind.
So
So,
that video was on the 27th.
yes, that was like a
Okay.
couple hours ish before she was gone.
Okay.
Um, so she was wearing exactly that same thing when she went missing, the shorts and the tank top and no shoes. So she had this experience with her dog where she's taken her dog out to go to the bathroom over by the pond, the river, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, um, that was about 5:45 to 6, right? And she was last seen around 7 by her roommate. So 7-ish, let's say. So maybe her
Okay.
roommate's rounding up or something. She took her dog with the same outfit, everything. She took her dog back to her apartment. And then that was the last time her roommate saw her. Okay.
Yeah.
That's, and
Yeah.
she's like, that was around 7. So literally right after this video footage is when she went missing.
Okay.
2 weeks go by and her family is frustrated that the police are painting her as just have lost her mind. Again, they said that they spoke to her and she was acting normal. A neighbor visited her that afternoon, and Kaylin told her that she's going to stay home, clean her house, and work on her resume, like we were talking about before. So a lot of people saw her and talked to her that day that said she was acting normal, but her roommate said that she was acting delusional, and the police are saying she's acting delusional. Police have found no evidence at this point of foul play, and they're unsure whether she was on drugs or medication when she made her 911 calls. The police are looking for any evidence or leads, or while the police are looking for evidence and leads, Kaylin's friends and family had been looking for her since day one, with search parties, passing out flyers, organizing a vigil that Katie didn't go to. and, and
I was there in spirit. I really, my heart was there because goodness.
Right. And sharing her picture
Oops.
on social media. But then months go by.
Mm-hmm.
On December 1st, 2014, the West Valley City crew checking drainage pipes along the Jordan River made a gruesome discovery. Under a bridge, a body was found submerged in the water near 3300 South and 1300 West, 6 miles from Kaylin Louder's condo. The water was roughly 3 to 4 feet deep, and they found the body hung up on the center pillars of the bridge, tangled in tree branches and plant debris. According to Roxanne Vainuku, a spokeswoman, not spokeswoman, a spokeswoman for the police department, was saying that she was that the body was badly decomposed and was recovered by a dive team taken to the Utah State Examiner's office. Police were unable to immediately determine the age or gender of the body. According to the police private investigator that worked with the Louder family, he said there was a creek behind the condo that leads to the Jordan River, which is where her dog was going to the bathroom, but waterways were too thoroughly searched by volunteers and police for her to have been dumped there. So they weren't sure if it was even her. They're like, the likelihood of that being the case is pretty low. The body, though, was identified eventually as belonging to Kaylin Louder. As the family mourned Kaylin's death, their private investigators found it strange that no one saw her during the volunteer searches, but they have no evidence to suggest someone had intentions to hurt her. But the Louder family is insistent that it was not an accident. Once the autopsy came back, 4 months later, they get the results. The cause of death was described as undetermined as a result of water exposure. And then the toxicology results were clean. There were no drugs or alcohol found in her system. So no, she was not on drugs. But they can't tell if she was intentionally hurt, right? The Louder family was left with literally no answers, not even a clue as to what could have happened to her. And Kaylin's case is cold to this day. So there are a few possibilities. Did she simply fall into her apartment and drown? The YouTube video Shannon with Rachel Shannon, True Crime, she was explaining that it's not likely because her body likely wouldn't have floated that far down. So if she was, fell in or whatever, her body would not have floated down that far without having gashes and scrapes on her body, which they found none.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, because if you've seen the Jordan River, there's like sticks, branches, stuff everywhere, and Kaylin's body literally didn't have any scrapes. Like she would have had to go, like there were a few bridges and things that had really narrow passages that her body would have had to maneuver through in order to get to where it was. So she didn't just
I feel like even if
in.
you went like 10 feet, you would have a scrape or like you'd have like
something.
That's interesting.
Right. So she
couldn't. So based on that though, are they thinking then that she didn't travel that far, that she actually was put in the water in West Valley?
Yes. So that's where it kind of seems like they've landed, is that if she would have been in the water or dumped there or accidentally drowned there, it would have been right in that area that she was found. It wouldn't have been by where her apartment was.
I see. Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And like
Huh.
she wouldn't have walked, if you think about it. Let's say she fell in, okay? If she would have had to have fallen in by the West Valley City like drainage pipes over there that the body was found, um, she would have had to walk in her bare feet all that way to then fall in at that point. And I'm like, there's no way she would have walked that far in bare
So wait,
feet.
she was found in the same clothes
Yes.
as that surveillance photo?
Yeah.
No shoes.
No shoes. No keys.
What?
Yeah. No phone.
Because I was thinking like, okay, maybe she was like a runaway kind of thing where she was like, I'm just gonna walk away and live on the streets, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like she could get 6 miles away.
Right.
And then like who knows what happened after that. But like, like at least that would explain that.
Yeah.
But if she was found in the same outfit,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
oh my gosh. What?
Okay. So then you keep in mind that she had these kind of bizarre 911 calls, right? Where she thought the
Right.
night before she thought that was a fight happening. Um then she thought, or then she was kind of like weird during the second call. She was like, "No, I'm fine," but she couldn't remember her address and she was kind of acting strange. And then the third one, the next morning, she thought someone was in her apartment. So there's a possibility that she could have been maybe showing signs of schizophrenia. Maybe she hadn't been diagnosed, and the stress from having lost her job and having to find a new one and not being able to hold down a job, that maybe that news of her not making it with that interview could have like just sent her in a spiral and could have put like maybe the signs of schizophrenia could have started, right? Because she was hearing things and seeing things and that weren't
Mm-hmm.
there, right? You could
Like life
also,
stressors triggering that.
right, and she could have had like an audio a hallucination where she's hallucinating voices. That's not necessarily schizophrenia, could have been maybe and I'm not a psychologist in any way, so you can take what I say with a grain of salt, but like maybe it was just like brought on by stress, like literally just stress itself to some people can cause, or a panic attack or something can cause hallucinations if you're having like kind of like a psychotic episode in some way. But the video didn't feel like to me that she was crazy. To me, it looked like she was just taking her dog out to go to the bathroom and trying to get her back inside. Like that's what it looked like to
Mm-hmm.
me. And people are like, well, why is she
Yeah.
outside with shoes? I'm like, dude, have you seen people have probably seen me in my neighborhood go outside in the worst possible things to wear. Like,
Listen, in high school, I went to the grocery store without shoes on all the time.
yeah. So it's like not strange. It's not,
Yeah.
and if you're just
Like,
hurrying and taking your dog outside, it's not that weird. And it wasn't raining that bad. Like I've done it, so I don't feel like it's that
yeah.
strange. So
No.
I don't feel like I see that she's was on a psychotic episode. I just don't see it.
I don't either.
Another theory is that there was someone harassing her, someone either in her condo complex or someone maybe that she used to work with or met on a date or met at a bar or whatever, could have been harassing her. And if they were
Mm-hmm.
rejected, could have found an opportunity when she was outside with no shoes on, that they just snatched her up and took her and tried to do something wherever that West Valley location was. And when she rejected them, maybe they pushed her in, or maybe they strangled her to a point where she didn't show any signs of trauma to the body and then just pushed her in, you know? And
You
if
know what
she was,
I'm trying to figure out in my head though is okay, so she went out and took her dog to go to the bathroom,
yeah.
right? Then she goes inside.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to have gone back outside, right?
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like it could have been one, maybe she was trying to going to get something out of her car really quick.
But
You
she
know
didn't
how
have
you
her
just
keys.
not on her person. I don't know if her keys were found with her stuff. I know her purse was there and her wallet, but no mention of keys being found at the house.
Oh, I see.
So
Hmm.
maybe the she took her keys out to go to her car to get something real quick, which I've done in no shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And and someone found an opportunity to snatch her, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe they have her keys or they disposed of her keys.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. This is what I think
Hmm.
happened. Or
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I'm not gonna say it's what I think happened. I think there's a possibility, another theory of my own making,
Mm-hmm.
that there's something fishy with the roommate.
I agree. That's my also theory.
So, but I've seen on the Facebook page of Kaylin's missing Facebook group, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
someone questioned the roommate and someone answered and said it's not productive to the investigation to continue to assume the roommate did anything because she's been cooperative and her mom or her family does not suspect anything, whatever. But there's something weird. There's something strange. I feel like the roommate knows more than she's saying, or she painted Kaylin in a light to say that she was crazy because that's the path the police went. Because Kaylin or Carol, I think her name is, I can't find any information on who this Carol person is. I can't figure it out. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
it said that maybe she wasn't from here or something. But anyway, so I feel like police talked to Carol first, and Carol says she's been really weird. She's been kind of delusional, and that 911 call was weird, kind of thing, you know? What if Carol had friends over?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not that they were trying to get to Kaylin in any way, right? But what if Carol had friends over and that's where the voices came from that she was hearing in that third 911 call?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Kaylin had rules or something that she couldn't have friends over, guys over, or whatever. And they saw them outside the window, or Kaylin saw them outside the window because they were coming into Carol's window and was like, she's sneaking, she's being sneaky. And she's like, oh, sorry. She's like, no, Kaylin's being really weird. Like, I don't know why she's acting like this. There was no one here. You know what I
But
mean?
do you think that Carol would lie about that to police though? Like that her roommate is missing? I feel like I'd say, okay, well, I told her she was crazy, but really what happened was I snuck this guy in because she had this rule. And so I told her that. And now I feel like that would be something I
I
wouldn't,
would. Like, I would come clean,
yeah, I would
but
too.
I don't know. Like, you'd hope that she
Yeah,
would. But I feel like there's just something off with the roommate. Not that she's involved, but I feel
right.
like there's something. Maybe they got in a fight. Like, what if she's like, you know what? You're acting weird, even if she's not really crazy, but she's like, you're acting weird. I want to move out. Like, I want to break my lease. Maybe they got in a fight and then something happened. Like, maybe Carol or Kaylin left mad and then someone took her as a crime of opportunity and then dumped her where they dumped her. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I feel like there's more going on.
What if, although the police would know this too. Like I was just gonna say, what if what if there were intruders And what if they got to Carol and said, if you say anything, we'll come back and kill you, you know? And so
Mm,
then she went into Kaylin's room and said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're just imagining things, like nothing happened, you know? But then there would be signs of a burglary.
right.
You know what I mean?
Cooper, stop.
Or they're like, we're here to scope out the place and we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back and get Kate. Like, I wonder if they said like what their intentions are and said, like, you better not get in our way or else.
Hmm.
But then that would mean that Carol is technically an accomplice, even though she was threatened.
Or Kaylin could have done some work as a social worker and got on the wrong, like the bad side of somebody. And
Mm,
maybe she had a stalker
yeah.
or someone that was like upset with something that she did in her work previously, because we don't know why she was fired.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
So maybe someone did just stalk
Like
her.
complain, like maybe some, like yeah, like maybe some like parent, like maybe there was like some situation that happened where it escalated. She was involved.
Yeah.
Maybe she was the one that like pushed it through or whatever. And so maybe somebody was like, okay, I'm gonna retaliate on this B word. And
Yeah.
then they literally like hunted her down. That's
That's a
scary. That's possible.
because I feel like if it was like, well, okay, we haven't even talked about the possibility of it being suicide, right? Like we haven't
Yeah.
talked about that possibility, but it's like, okay, even if it was that, she could, I mean, like, how though? If there was no damage to her body and no drugs in her system to make her like maybe like be too drugged up to like get out of the water and not drown, you know what I mean? There was no
Yeah. So they're
drugs.
saying that she would have walked 6 miles barefoot
Right.
and then ended up in the
And
water.
then fell in
Yeah.
or jumped
Or
in, but it was only 3 to 4 feet deep, so she could stand up. Like,
yeah. What the?
yeah, so her case has gone cold, ice cold. There's no arrest been made. There's no suspects. There's nothing. And the poor family, I
Wow.
can't even imagine how irritatingly frustrating that could be. Like, let's say for
Hmm.
some reason that same scenario happened to me. You'd be like, there's no way. You know what I mean? Be
Hmm.
like, I know
Yeah.
she's not freaking going crazy. Like she's stupid as shit,
Like
but she's
she's
not
stressed.
crazy.
She's stressed and stupid, but geez.
Yeah, you would know. And then how frustrating would it be for them to just be like, well, we don't know, and then just
Yeah.
leave it and no one investigates it? It's just bizarre to me. It's bizarre.
That's why I feel like there's somebody involved. Somebody involved and but like how did they get away with it?
I don't know. Like, I don't know how there's literally no evidence. Someone
Yeah.
would have seen something, you'd think, but like, because, okay, let's say she walked all the way down 6 miles. Someone would have been like, what is this chick doing walking along Jordan River with no shoes on?
Barefoot.
Because Jordan
Yeah.
River it's like populated. Like people run along the trail
Run
all the time.
or bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
So,
like either gravel or it's dirt or mud or like it's not
yeah,
paved.
I don't know. I think
There might
there's
be parts of
something,
it that are paved, but anyway.
yeah,
Hmm.
down by like South Jordan area, they pave it all the way to Utah Lake.
Oh,
So there's
really?
like a paved path.
Oh yeah, because they do races and stuff on that, don't they?
Yeah,
Like little
they've
like
done
jogging.
marathons and
Yeah,
stuff on that. Yeah.
that's right.
But
No, I don't
anyway,
know how there's no, I don't know how this doesn't make sense. Somebody knows something, and I bet it's somebody close to her.
well, okay, so there's something I didn't put in my notes because I didn't want people to assume that she really was like on drugs or something, but and I may be explaining this a little off, but a few years before, Kaylin has a twin brother.
Hmm.
And her twin brother, I don't remember his name, so maybe I should have put this in my notes, but um But her twin brother was like working on a farm or something with their uncle and randomly like attacked and killed her uncle. And he was on meth.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I would hate for people to think that she was just the same as that
Mm-hmm.
because it's not the same. Like I feel like she was targeted and she has
Mm-hmm.
no substances in her toxicology report. So I just think like
Yeah.
I didn't want people to assume that that was even remotely related. But
Well, even
um
to have the job that she did have, she would have to drug test for it, you know.
right. And I mean, who
And
knows?
it didn't test positive, so
Yeah.
that's off the table.
Yeah. So
Mm.
it's just I don't know. I just feel like they really did a disservice to her by labeling her as mentally ill instead of like actually taking it seriously. Like, even though she didn't have enemies, could they not have found surveillance along Jordan River to see if she really did walk that
Mm-hmm.
far, or to see if a car pulled up with her, or something? You know what I mean? Like, and now
Or
that
go back
surveillance
and
is
check
long
the
gone.
alibis of, yeah, or go back and check the alibis of everybody that was somewhat linked to her within the
Yeah.
last like month of her life or something. Because
Yeah. Well,
even if it was somebody who like lashed out and like wanted to get back at her for something that happened within her job, they would be able to figure that out then if they
yeah.
went back and traced it, you know.
Right. Well, in the second 911 call, she said, "This neighborhood is a don't meddle, don't tell neighborhood, and I want to keep my friends safe." So,
Don't meddle, don't tell. What does that
was she
mean?
having an issue with someone in her condo complex? Like, and maybe it was to keep Carol safe?
Oh, maybe it's like a snitches get stitches kind of thing. Like maybe somebody thought she ratted. What if maybe somebody retaliated her within her apartment?
What if she saw someone doing, like, let's say, for example, a hypothetical, she saw someone doing a drug deal or something,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
she's, a social worker, so she has this higher, like, this probably
Duty.
idea in her mind that, like, that's illegal, I'm going to report it. And and then they were harassing her to make sure she'd shut up and stay quiet. And maybe she saw them outside and said, "No, I'm gonna report you to the police." And maybe they did something to her.
Maybe that's why she said there was like shots fired, whatever. She's probably trying to say like no, there's drug deals. Like you guys need to
Yeah.
come see it for yourself. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying what's happening, but I need you guys to get over here quick, you
Like,
know?
maybe they would like stumble upon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe.
That's
That's
that
interesting.
I feel like that makes sense because that of her being worried to, maybe she wasn't like confused in that, how they said that she was confused and mumbling and didn't remember her address. Maybe she was like, "No, I want to stay anonymous," type
Or
of thing.
what if she went to call that second time and when she went to go give information, somebody walked in
Oh,
and she was like, and like obviously she's like, oh yeah, I live at this place. Like they're gonna know that she
right.
called. And so
Right.
she's like, oh, I don't know.
Or yeah,
You
and
know what
so she
I
starts mumbling like she's
mean?
not talking to the police. She's actually,
Mhm.
I feel like there's something close to her for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep, that's my
That's
story.
scary.
Yep. So be careful, guys. I don't know. I don't know of
Will.
what. Just be aware of your surroundings, I guess. And like, I don't know. That's so freaking scary.
I feel like that's so scary because like she was in her own home
Mm-hmm.
doing her own thing,
Yeah, just having a
living her
normal
own.
Saturday.
Yeah.
And another thing to say, and I think Rachel, whatever her name is from that YouTube, I should really keep track of Rachel Shannon from that YouTube channel. She was saying like okay, if it was suicide, right? She wouldn't have left her dog behind because that dog was not her roommate or not her roommate's responsibility, right?
Yeah.
People who plan to do that would likely start giving away important belongings. So maybe she would take her dog to her parents for a
They say,
weekend and
hey,
be
can
like,
you watch my dog?
right.
Yeah.
So that kind of just shows like she wouldn't, most people, if you think about, dog owners, they're not
Mm-hmm.
going to, they're not likely to leave their loved ones, I guess, with people that don't give a shit. Like her roommate probably doesn't care about her dog.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just
Yeah.
think I feel in my gut that it was foul play.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
And it's upsetting that there's not enough information.
I just wonder if they would have found surveillance somewhere else, but I'm sure they had to get specific warrants for like we think she was here because of this reason, and that's why they couldn't get like more surveillance maybe, like have to be
Hmm.
super
But
specific on
people
why
should
they need
just
it.
people like we've talked about, people should just be able to submit it. Like no warrants, just if you're willing to give it to us, give it to us. Like
Yeah, I don't understand
ugh.
why like more people wouldn't be like, "Hell yeah, I'll give you surveillance."
Like what do
Like,
you need? Like I got the
yeah,
last 38 hours or 48 hours or whatever.
right.
But like,
Crazy.
wow. I
I
hope
know.
somebody's working on it still. Like I hope,
They
even though
do
it's
have,
cold, I hope somebody's still combing through and like re asking questions.
yeah, one of their private investigators with the last name of Adams, I believe, is still assigned to the case, but I'm not sure how maybe the Cold Case Coalition can give them some help because I feel like there's so
Hmm.
much information out there that can be found. Like I really think they just
Yeah.
there it's such a disservice to that whole family, and like assuming she's crazy
Yeah.
pisses me off because it's just like you can tell she's talking to her dog.
Hmm.
Why are they assuming that she's talking to herself? Like that's so stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid. It makes
Yeah,
no
that is
sense.
really stupid. But it's also fair, like we have said, like it's fair that her roommate really did catch on to some crazy things, like where it's like she's acting different. Like that
Yeah.
could totally be true. But it's like
Yeah.
who's telling the truth? Like there's it's one or the other, you
Right.
know?
Well, and some things
Oh,
probably don't stay in your system for very long. So maybe she was more like using like marijuana or something to like chill out because she's so
maybe.
stressed. And maybe that just
Or
didn't stay in her
shrooms or
system very long. But like, I don't know. I don't see the crazy that they're saying. And even in the 911 calls, I couldn't
mm-mm.
hear the crazy. I could hear the fear. I
Yeah.
could hear the like confusion of like, well, I don't know why it's locked. Like, I don't know why the door is locked, but I heard someone. Like,
Yeah.
I did not hear delusional in that. So,
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I wonder if like FBI can like take the audio from that and like zero in on the background noise to hear anything, you
see, I
know?
thought I heard a laugh when
I
she
thought I
said,
heard that too.
"You
I
did?"
heard that too. I did. And I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to interrupt because there's things happening. But I was like,
I
it was like
thought
a
I
high
heard,
pitched.
yeah, I thought it was a
Yeah.
woman's laugh. And so then I was like, is that Carol? Like messing with her, you
Oh
know?
my gosh. I
Hmm.
don't know. That is so scary.
I'm glad you heard it
Can't
because I
trust
thought I was being
roommates.
crazy. You're right. If you've ever had a bad
Lock
experience
your
with a
doors.
roommate, you know, I love roommate stories. So
Yeah.
I want to hear them all
Yeah, send in
because
your roommate stories.
I'd love to
That'll be a
hear
fun
those.
bonus episode.
Right. I have a few. I don't know if I want to share them, but I have a few.
You shared your like angel statue story
Oh,
in one of the
yeah.
early episodes.
Yeah, but I mean roommate specific.
Yeah, just in general
But I
roommates.
feel like everyone I've roommated with might listen to this. So
I've only roommated with my husband and ex-husband. So yeah, roommates suck
You're like,
sometimes.
you're like, I can tell you some stories.
You have a nice glow about you right now. It's like a sunsetty glow.
I'm ready for spring.
It reminds me of Baby Mama, where it's like, oh, can you read my aura? And she's like, sunsetty. Do you remember that part?
Yeah, I do. I haven't seen that in so
Oh,
long.
I haven't either.
I'm gonna have to
Okay.
watch it soon.
Well, good job on your story.
Thanks.
I'm glad you covered that one because I remember a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
I
It's
hope
a
they solve it.
it's a good reminder that like no one knows what's going on in your life unless you tell someone, you know?
Yeah, that's so
Like
true.
like what if, going back to like maybe she was being harassed or something, I wish that she told someone. Or even if she
Mhm.
was having a mental break, maybe like I wish she would have told someone. Like I don't
But
feel
she
right.
kind of did. Didn't she tell her roommate, I saw somebody outside the window, you know? Like she did tell someone. They just didn't
Yeah, I
believe her.
guess
And in the end, they threw her under the bus, kind of, and
in
said,
the
yeah, she's
end,
actually ill.
yeah, she's just crazy. I don't know.
Which, but like, which she might have hallucinated it, like maybe. But you have to take it seriously.
Yeah, maybe say, "Can I take you somewhere? Like, do you want to go to or need to go to the hospital, like,
Mm-hmm.
to get checked out? Like, or do you want to go,
Or do you like not feel safe here? Like, do you want to,
like,
like
maybe you
maybe you
should
should.
go to your parents for a while or something, you know? I don't
Yeah.
know.
But I mean, you can say all that stuff now, like in hindsight, but it's like,
That just
I
makes
don't
me
know. It's
sad
just,
because what happened? Like we
yeah.
still don't know what happened. We can assume or make guesses,
Mhm.
but like just the fact that it's just like a big question mark to everyone is so upsetting.
Yeah. And it's 2014. There's cameras everywhere at that time.
Right.
Like, what the hell?
And like just she looks so happy in her pictures. And I know that doesn't mean anything because like you can hide behind a smile, but it's just like, ugh, the world lost
Hmm.
someone, you know? It just sucks.
Yeah. Oh, so sad. Well, if you don't know by now, we are covering stories based on the Jordan River. So
Yes.
April covered that one. There are so many other
So
cases
there's so
that
many others, and I
have
couldn't only,
that are, you know,
yeah,
ugh,
I
yeah,
could only do
there's so
one.
many.
Am I breaking up?
Anyway,
Am
but
I freezing?
right, a little, a little bit.
Son of a bitch.
So, the Jordan River. Uh, I heard rumors that it was haunted, and I had to cover this story because we grew up pretty close to the Jordan River.
Yeah.
When we lived in South Jordan in the house that we believe is totally haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was within a mile, when you
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
of the Jordan River. Like
Yeah.
not like on the banks, but like it was within a mile.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like we would drive around the river, we'd drive over the river, we'd walk along the river. Like there was so many times that we were around it that it's interesting now to hear stories that it might be haunted. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, what? So, and by the way, like growing up, I didn't know the Jordan River was the Jordan River. I always thought it was just a sewage canal.
So did I.
And like as they talked about it, you're like, oh yeah, the Jordan River. But then like once I put two and two together, I was like, wait, that's the Jordan River, that sewage dump?
Yeah, it had no flowing
Really?
water ever.
No. It's like standstill, yucky water that
Right.
stinks and has mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
At
didn't
least by
know.
us.
Yeah, exactly. Like and I'll get there. Like there's areas that have been updated and are more sanitary. So it's not all like that. I just thought that's what it was my
Hmm.
whole life. Um, but anyway, walking along the Jordan River, you may find people around you who are enjoying what the river brings to the community. You might find joggers, bikers, fishers, even
Mm-hmm.
people canoeing the Jordan River. Like there's a lot of things you can do along the Jordan River. But no matter what, when you visit the river, you're never completely alone, even if you think you are.
Yeah.
While we already know that the river is no stranger to death and crime, it has also become a river of paranormal activity. Have you ever been to the Jordan River, like just by yourself or like
Not by
anything like that?
myself. So me and my little fam, like Josh and the boys, we always went on walks on the path, like
Mm-hmm.
especially in South Jordan, um, and like kind of Saratoga Springs area where it meets up with Utah County. And like I always
Yeah.
make comments like, guess how many bodies are in this river right now? And like I always like look at the tall
Honestly,
grass
though.
along the sides and I'm like watching for like strange things because like yeah, there's stuff in that.
It's yeah. And like
Yeah.
you might end up being somebody who finds something.
Right. I always look because I'm just like, there's somebody in here. I know it.
Yeah. Honestly, because I posted like I usually do, I post on the Utah Haunted History Facebook page and I
Hmm.
said, "What do you guys know about the Jordan River?" And there was a couple comments that are like, "You mean Utah's body dump?" And
For
I'm like,
real.
"Yeah." So,
Side note,
it's known to be a body dump.
I was having a girls' night with Shelby, Whitney, and Jordan, and they were talking about like stories for the podcast.
Hmm.
And Shelby was saying, like, yeah, by the way, there's a body in the Jordan River. And, Whitney was like, are you confessing to something in front of us? I'm like, can you come on the pod and like tell your story? But
Yeah.
like,
And we'll have like cops outside, so it'll be
yeah,
like just like a confession. So you only have to tell it once. It'll be recorded.
yeah,
It'll be
we'll
fine.
record it. That way you don't have to say it twice. But um,
A
so
body. Like,
yeah,
okay, there's
she
more.
she was saying she knows someone or knows like maybe second or third hand someone who was released from jail and was like walking across the river and broken the ice and fell in and they never found him.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know like all the details. Maybe I'll cover it if it has enough information, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Ooh.
crazy. And she's like, yeah, so he's just floating around in there somewhere. It's like that is so
I
sad.
wonder, how there's like bottom feeder fish in the Jordan River,
Uh-huh.
like catfish and who knows what else.
Yeah.
I wonder if they eat human flesh.
I don't know, but I learned in one of my books I've been reading about like societal collapse that like
Okay.
river turtles can eat flesh.
Oh, you cut out there. River turtles can eat what?
Eat flesh.
Ooh.
Like you put a body in the bodies of water out in the East Coast areas, like Virginia or whatever, and there's turtles that'll eat you.
Well, why would you put yourself in there?
I
Who would do
mean,
that?
like if you dumped a body there, I mean,
Oh, okay. I see. I see. I
or
see.
if your body was
Oh
dumped there.
my gosh.
Yeah, crazy, weird.
That is crazy.
And also, if you fish there and
And
they're
then you
like
eat the fish?
eating the fish, then like, are you not then secondhandly cannibalizing?
That's what I think. That's why I've never fished there.
Yeah, I will
Ever.
never. I will
I'm like,
never.
then you're just eating people fish.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways,
Ugh.
side tangent. My bad.
Yeah. No, you're good. Okay, so let me give you the little history lesson on the Jordan River. Okay.
Okay.
The Jordan River is about 40 miles long and it flows south to north, going from the Utah Lake to the Great Salt Lake. So it goes from the northern end of the Utah Lake to the southern end of the Great Salt Lake.
Oh, for some reason I thought it went backwards, but now that I'm picturing it, yes, it does go that way. For some
Yeah,
reason.
it doesn't seem like rivers should flow north.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like things should go down south.
Gravity.
Yeah, like if I'm looking at a globe, it's like it all should just do this, right?
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah, how the hell is it being pulled the opposite direction?
north.
I know. I it doesn't make sense, but whatever.
But then again, we're on a mountain, so like hills and stuff. So I don't know. Is Utah
Or
Lake higher than like elevation
elevation.
wise? I
I don't
wonder.
know.
It has to be then, right? Because that's how the river would do that. Huh. Anyway, so
I don't know.
the river ended up having a little bit of an impact on how and what we named our cities along the river. So we have Riverton, we have South Jordan, and then we have West Jordan. Those are the ones I can come up with. I don't think we have any other cities based on the river.
I never thought of Riverton being a river name.
Yeah. You never thought of Riverton being a river name?
No.
Is that what you just said? Like, let's play that back.
I
What?
meant like based on the river. I never thought it was. I just
Oh,
thought about the Jordans, South and West Jordan.
yeah. And then Riverton.
Okay.
Yeah. So shout out to listeners in those areas.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo. Um,
Welcome.
welcome. So
Hope you stick
back
around.
in yeah, right. Watch our listens go down in those areas.
Yeah, they're
Because
like, you guys, we
we have
do.
some listens in those areas. So
Isn't it
oh,
mostly, where are they? Most of them, aren't they? Salt Lake
Salt
is the
Lake.
highest
Yeah.
number.
I think it goes Salt Lake, West Valley, South Jordan.
Oh, we've said some shit about West Valley. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, and like we've gotten more listens in Ogden, which I'm just like, oh, I'm
Oh
so
no.
sorry.
I know they're like,
I just hope they're aware. I just hope that they're aware and they're just nodding their heads like, yes, we know
it's a
it
bad place to
sucks.
be. I mean, it's amazing and we love it.
It's not you, it's just the place you live, okay? I'm not judging you for living there. I'm just judging there. That's it.
You know what?
The
We're
there.
judging the city officials that don't update and make things safer. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all.
right.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, wow. I got a lot. I have a lot of notes. I have 11 pages and we're on page 2.
Oh
So
shit. Sorry, I'll stop talking.
you're good. All right. So back in 1847, the river was named the Western Jordan by the Mormon settlers. Because back then the water was cold, fresh, and had at least 13 native species of fish.
Mm.
Then animals like beavers and bighorn sheep also gathered near the river. So imagine prairie land. And it's just like, flocks of
Birds.
animals, just, yeah, like Lion King, but Utah version. Then
So
white people came in.
horses and horses and bison.
Yeah, and bighorn sheep, like I said, elk, probably,
Yeah, deer and all.
deer, antelope. Anyway, so yeah, that was great times. And then white people came in and ruined it. Um, but it was given the name Western Jordan because they thought it resembled a biblical river in the Middle East known as the Jordan River. In the
Hmm.
Bible, that river is described to be a river that flows from a fresh lake through the fertile valleys and into the Dead Sea. Eventually, the river here in Utah went from being called the Western Jordan River to just the Jordan River.
Hmm.
Just over time. There was really no date of when that happened. So, and fun fact, back when they were constructing the LDS Salt Lake City Temple, they actually used the Jordan River to float the materials upstream instead of using like horses and stuff to haul it. Like they used the
Oh,
river to get it up north a few miles and then they traveled it east from there. So I thought that was
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
They also used that method when they were building the Central Utah Railroad. The river wasn't only used to carry cargo several miles upstream, it was also used to send sewage and waste to dump into the Great Salt Lake.
Nice.
Um, yeah, naturally, having a 40-mile stretch of sewage water raised concerns because of obvious sanitary and curbside aesthetic reasons.
Yeah.
And so during the 1960s and 1970s, it was known that the Jordan River was filled with industrial pollutants from various slaughterhouses, packing plants, mineral mills, and laundries.
Oh my gosh.
The water was also testing positive for things like heavy metals, arsenic, and lead.
Wow.
So in that time is when they were like, "This is how bad it is. Like, let's come forward and show you guys like this is really not okay. Like we're living around this."
Right. Well, and animals like wildlife
Mhm.
drinking from it.
Exactly. Right. So basically, this river was like a giant trash snake that went through the valley.
Trash snake.
And finally, in 1973, the Utah State Legislature created what's called the Provo Jordan River Parkway Authority. And their job was to establish programs that would improve the quality of water, as well as make it more pleasing to the nearby homeowners by adding parks and recreational facilities. This Provo Jordan River Parkway Authority, which is a really long name,
Mm-hmm.
they also put in motion projects for water conservation and flood control measures along the river. So their job was to be like, let's do some damage control.
Yeah.
And good for them because by 1976, only 3 years later, after they were established, an article in the Salt Lake Tribune noted that the quality of water had been showing improvements and they had found ways to cut back on industrial pollutants.
Nice.
Yeah, so they worked hard real quick. By the 1980s, some areas of the Jordan River had become an inviting place and also photogenic.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the International Peace Gardens uh, was first opened in 1952, but became popular towards the 80s. And if you've never heard of the International Peace Gardens, it's a really like fascinating park garden place that has
Yeah.
different monuments and structures that represent at least 26 different countries. And it actually started as a citizen project, and it's supposed to be a lesson in peace and understanding between different nations. They encourage people to wander and meditate as they visit the garden.
I think it's
We've
a
done our family
really,
pictures there.
yeah, it's beautiful there.
It is really pretty. Really, really pretty. They also have a playground outside of the garden, so you can like it's family friendly.
Mm.
Like you can bring your kids, which is really nice. And so like if you walk all the way back to the back of the garden, that's where the Jordan River is. Do you remember that? Where like you can
Yeah.
walk over that bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely check it out. It's really pretty. And it's free. So
Yeah. That's always
so
nice.
now yeah, really. Not only did the International Peace Garden bring some attraction to the Jordan River, but so did the addition of jogging trails, golf courses, and fishing. And eventually, it wasn't so bad to live along the Jordan River. And today, more than 1 million people live along the Jordan River,
Wow.
like in the banks, kind of like right along the Jordan River.
That doesn't seem smart. Though grandma's
Yeah,
along it, isn't she?
yeah, she has a raccoon problem
And mosquitoes.
and mosquitoes
What
and
else?
floods,
Yeah.
flood control.
You're right. Haha.
All right, so now let's talk about the ghosts. So, all of these stories and experiences were shared on a post that I made from the Utah Haunted History Facebook page. Like,
Mm-hmm.
really, all of it. I got some, I'll say this, I got the idea to do this story from TikTok. And
Mm-hmm.
I put that in my site. So, like, the TikToks that I found, there's only like 3 of them out there. So, really, if you just search it, you'll find them. But
Yeah.
Anyway, I found that and I was like, oh my gosh, I never thought of the Jordan River. And so then that's when I made my post. And then people came forward and were like, this is what I've experienced.
Okay.
So here we go.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna put this out there that not only are these experiences paranormal, but they're also true crime. So just a
Okay.
warning. Okay. All right, let's just go down the list.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so this person saw something very creepy. Their name is Megan L. And she said, I grew up across the street from the trail in Murray. My friend and I did see two people sitting on a bench who appeared to be KKK members. It was in the middle of the night, and we were about 14 years old. It scared the crap out of us.
So they were wearing the KKK getup. Oh my gosh.
Just in the
That's
middle of the night,
creepy.
sitting on a bench by the Jordan River.
Ugh, don't
Yeah,
like that.
right. Well, and I don't know, but like I just imagine at 14 years old, they're probably sneaking out and like being troublemakers. Could you
Yeah.
imagine seeing that?
Oh my gosh, I'd
And like
never
your
go outside
parents don't
again.
know. Yeah. And like your parents don't know that you're out or anything, but you just saw what you just saw. You're like, oh my gosh, we need to get back ASAP before we get
Right.
murdered.
Right.
Some people mentioned remembering missing persons cases that came from the Jordan River.
Mm-hmm.
Either they went missing at the river or they went missing and then their body was later found in the river.
Yeah, that's a common one.
Yeah. A member named Lewis F. They said there was that college girl who disappeared from her apartment and was found later dead in the river. And they didn't say who it was, but they
Sounds
just said
like
like, oh yeah,
Caitlin.
could be, yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody named Amelia B. She said, I haven't heard any ghost stories, but I did have a friend find a body in it once, and I'm
What?
sure that's not far, and that I'm sure that's far from the only one. Um, some people shared that they remembered cases of people or even family members being murdered along the trail. Julie H., she said, in 1988, our first proctor son and two of his friends, the guy had just got out of Mill Creek Youth Center in Ogden the week before, murdered an exchange student in a drug deal gone bad and dumped the body in the Jordan River
Oh
after
my
three
gosh.
troubled youths got out of proctoring. I don't know what that last sentence means, but yeah. Ugh. And then somebody named Marcus L. said, people believe there is a serial killer called something like the Jordan River Killer. A lot of homeless people got killed and the police didn't really care. A lot of unsolved murders dealing with the Jordan River. My dad's my friend's dad died mysteriously in the Jordan River, and they said he was murdered and nobody's doing anything to solve it.
Oh my
And I'll
gosh.
get back to that in a second because there is some talk about what the hell is going on with the Jordan River and all these
Missing
crimes. But
people. Yeah.
right, I'll get there in a minute. Somebody else named Kyle L. He said my uncle was murdered along the Jordan River back in 1998.
Oh my gosh.
And sadly, of course, there have been accidental and suicidal deaths in the river.
Yeah, a lot.
Somebody named Joe H. said way back in the 50s, my friend's brother drowned in the Jordan River in Murray.
Hmm.
Somebody named Misty B. She said had a client whose sister drove her husband into it. They both died. Client and his wife client and his wife raised their son, so they're the aunt and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
When the client started to suffer from dementia, they would find him trying to find a sister and brother-in-law.
Oh my
So
gosh.
like he would go back and try to find them even after he had dementia. A lot of people agree that this river holds some awful negative energy and is undoubtedly haunted.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of belief around the river being haunted is not only based on the horrible things that have happened in and around the water, but a lot of people agree that the water itself holds onto memories and emotions. Um, a lot of a lot like the stone tape theory, how
Mm,
it's like the bricks will hold on to the memory,
yeah.
and then you might see like what is it called? Residual
Oh,
hauntings.
yeah, okay.
So people believe that it's a lot like that with water too. The idea that water holds on to memory was brought up by a French immunologist named Jacques Benvesti. Benvist. I don't know how to say it, but we're gonna call him Jacques. Anyway,
Okay.
after he had conducted research that showed up evidence that even after water was diluted to the point where not even one molecule is present, that it would still test positive for allergens that were added to it prior to it being diluted. So basically, he would take water and like add stuff to it. And then
Mm-hmm.
he would like basically add chemicals that would react to it to show that it reacted.
Mm-hmm.
Then he would take a new batch of water, put chemicals into it. I don't know exactly what it was, but he'd put something into it. Then he would dilute the water, like basically straining it. He would
Mm-hmm.
like or purify it. He was diluting the water so much that every time he would look at it, he made sure there was less and less evidence of the chemical that he present or that he put in it,
Mm-hmm.
all the way to where there wasn't even one molecule present. Like there was no sign of anything in the water.
Okay.
Then he put that other chemical that would react to it,
Mm-hmm.
into the water, and then looked at it under a microscope and found that there was still a reaction. So
Whoa.
his testing was proving that doesn't matter how much you clean the water or purify it, it's still going to have like memory. Like
Right.
it's still going to have traces of where it's been.
Right. That's
So,
crazy.
isn't that interesting? All right. So, this experiment that Jacques did was tested and retested in different ways over the decades. The most recent research that supports this claim was done in 2011 when experiments were conducted by the Aerospace Institute of the University of Stuttgart in Germany. So, if that theory or claim is true, then that opens the door of the to the idea that oceans and lakes are like just pools of information, right?
Right.
Um, and with that theory, that also means that rivers and clouds would be sending information. Like they're, you know,
Whoa.
yeah, like information's being traveled all over around the world then by clouds and rivers and things like that.
That's crazy to
Wild to
think
think about.
about. Yeah.
Yeah. Which reminds me of like when Olaf was talking about it in Frozen 2, where he was like, water
Uh-huh.
has memory. Anyway, so yeah. Beyond that, though, there's the idea that water is affected by our emotions, similar to how like plants are affected by their environment. Like, you've seen
Yeah.
those studies where they're like, if you talk negatively to a plant and positively to another, one will wilt and one will thrive.
Right.
Well, people believe that that's true with water as well. It
Huh.
hasn't been scientifically proven. However, there are experiments out there that people have published that suggest that this theory might also be true. A famous experiment was done in Tokyo, Japan in the 1990s by Dr. Masaru Emoto. And in his experiment, he took two groups of water samples, and in one group, he exposed it to a positive environment by playing like happy music, and he even had a recording of a voice using positive language.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the other group, he did the exact opposite. So it was like a negative environment with like angry, aggressive music, and then
Mm.
negative language. Then after separating those two groups and doing that, he took the water and he froze it. Then, after it was frozen, he looked at it under a microscope. What he found was that the group that was in the positive environment had crystals that were beautiful and like perfectly symmetrical and like, you know, pretty.
Yeah.
In the other group, he found that the ice crystals were deformed and like morphed. Like they weren't able to like blossom the same way the other ones did.
Interesting.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Like that's so poetic.
Yeah.
So, as we know, a lot of paranormal activity is reported near bodies of water. And paranormal investigators often use water when ghost hunting because it's widely believed that water is a conduit for spirits to manifest. For example, some investigators have used a technique called water scrying, which is actually a pagan practice. Do you know what scrying is?
Uh-uh.
I had to like look it up and learn about it. Sorry, I think Arya's knocking on the door.
Oh.
Hope she goes away. Um, so yeah, paranormal investigators have started to use what's called water scrying. And basically, it's a method that's similar to when a witch looks into a crystal ball and tries to see images that would send a message back, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Uh-huh.
So there's also like mirror scrying and fire scrying. It's basically like when you're trying to get a message out of images that you see in
Okay.
that,
In
if
whatever
that
it
makes
is,
sense.
whatever element. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So paranormal investigators will use water scrying to see if they see anything in the water, which I think is really creepy. Could you imagine like doing a paranormal investigation, like looking into the water and like you see something, like a
Yeah, I would.
reflection or like something
n-
in the water?
I would not be
Oh,
okay.
no, that would be so scary. But it also makes sense though, like why people see things in mirrors and they don't see it like around them. So I feel like
Yeah.
that explains that, which is
Yeah.
interesting. So, with the evidence that water holds memory and responds to its environment holds some weight when taking water scrying seriously in the paranormal community, in my opinion.
Hmm.
So, Marcus L. in the Utah Haunted History Facebook page on my post, he said, when I was about 8, I saw a dead body being pulled out of the Jordan River by a helicopter. It was in the
Oh
mid
my
90s. It
gosh.
was behind our house. So I know that place is haunted. So I just feel like with all the bad things that have happened in and around the water, like, and if water holds memory and like responds to its environment, like it's a death snake, it's a death trash snake.
Well, yeah. Yeah. It's weird though. In my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, the experiment makes makes sense. I mean, like you think about plants that
Mm-hmm.
have gone through that experiment and like they're alive. We know that plants are alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like to think that water in a way is also alive is kind of a crazy concept to me, but like cool at the same time. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
it's just such a
Yeah.
interesting like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it is super fascinating. But like the fact that this body of water or this river has seen so much death and like um I don't know, and like trauma from like people's experiences, whether that be they
Mm-hmm.
are a jogger attacked by like a rapist or something, or a
Mm-hmm.
body being dumped, or someone actually being murdered, or like stuff like that. You can't imagine that that water, given just the experiment that that water is a happy water, you know,
Yeah.
like
No, you're right
like
though.
like it's probably so
Yeah.
damaged. So sad.
But can it be fixed? Like that's the question too. Like is it fixable or is it just
I don't think
damned?
so. I I
Damned.
mean, I feel like I mean maybe damned. Uh, but can it can it go through some kind of counseling? Probably not. But can it have better
Yeah.
experiences? Probably. Like
Yeah.
like I feel silly talking about it like it's a person or a thing or like alive. But like if we
I guess like the
can,
peace gardens, like the international
yeah.
peace gardens, like that brought some positivity to it and the golf
Uh,
courses that are around.
Yeah, and like the South Jordan area has like a lot of fishermen and joggers, and that's a relatively safe area, I'd say.
Hmm. So just
But
development is what needs to happen.
Yeah, so it'd be like you'd have to really make it a place that is more vibrant than
Mm-hmm.
like some of the like in West Valley and north of it, I think is where it's a little more rough and
Yeah.
could use
And
some,
Riverton,
yeah, it could use some TLC.
TLC.
Yeah, but like it should be a
Yep.
safe place for people. Like there should be more security in the pathways there. And I like
Mm-hmm.
Josh has ran it before and it scared the shit out of me because he ran it at night. Well, he started not at night, but when he was like, because he was training for a marathon, he
The
was,
Badger's gonna get him.
well, I literally thought he was gonna get murdered. And I was like, do you want me to like, I was like, do you want me to ride a bike next to you? So at least it's like power and numbers. He's like, no, I don't want you anywhere near me when I'm trying to run because like I'd annoy him. But like,
Yeah, I feel like you try to hold a conversation.
yeah, I'd be like, oh my gosh, guess what happened today? And he's like trying to
Yeah,
focus.
like, did you see that new movie that was coming out?
Yeah. They'd be like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. We should do this every Saturday. And he's just like hating me.
Yeah.
I'm such a pest. But like, yeah, I just think like stuff like that is so scary to go by yourself.
Mhm.
And I just warn everyone to just be careful. Like it's so scary.
It is so
Carry
scary.
mace, a taser, make sure you can get it quick. I don't know, it scares me for anyone.
You know what? I just had a memory pop back up into my head.
Okay.
Last summer, I went to there's a driving range right off of 106, I think it is, in South Jordan,
Mulligans?
across the street from Mulligan's. Or is it? No. I don't know. There's the one that has like the BYU and like the Utah sometimes out there, like the Targets. And it's right by the golf course.
Oh,
It might
where
be
is that?
Mulligan's. Or maybe it's 114th. But anyway, I was at the driving range and I had like, that little black skirt on and
Yeah.
like my tank top. And like I was looking fine, but okay. And I was like hitting the golf ball. And Mitch was dealing with Aria over in the car, which she's knocking on the window right now. Hold on.
Okay.
But
Oh,
anyway, so
Aria, hold on.
anyway, this guy came up and took pictures of me when I
What
was
the fuck?
swinging the club. And I actually like I walked after him and said, "Hey, what were you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, I was just taking a picture of the BYU and Utah signs." And I'm like, "Okay, I was just making sure." Then I walked away, but I'm like,
Hmm.
"But was he?" And I told Mitch about it, and he's like, "Do you want me to go fight him?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
but he wasn't. What's weird too is that he wasn't there for the golf. Like he walked back to the Jordan River Trail. You know what I mean?
That's weird.
But then again, I don't know, because like the path like goes through the parking lot of this driving range.
Maybe
So
he was taking a stroll on the Jordan River and he was like, hey, I've never seen this driving range before. And oh, look, it has the teams on it. And he went to take a picture and he got distracted because he saw a girl in a skirt and was like, this is better.
I really did look really good that day too. That's how I like instantly thought, I'm like, you're looking at me. I know you are, you know?
Like, is that flattering or should I be alarmed? I don't
Right, exactly.
know.
It's like, ew. But also,
Thanks.
I know.
That's funny.
Anyway, just watch your back is all I'm saying.
Man, I love that confidence any day. Assuming people are taking pictures of me. Anyway.
Right. I got you. Don't worry. So, beyond the water has memory and stuff, people
Yeah.
have a lot of different superstitions and beliefs when it comes to the water and the spiritual realm.
Okay.
So, some people believe that demons control the waters and are most powerful on the Sabbath.
Interesting.
Um, some people believe that ghosts are afraid or unable to pass through water. And there's actually an old wives' tale that stems from an old Irish folklore that if you're being followed or chased by some sort of ghost or entity, that you should put yourself in water to like get rid of it, like just scare it away. Um,
Hmm.
which I think is interesting. I'm like, who's getting chased by a ghost? Like,
I can't
I don't
say
know.
I've
Like,
experienced that.
yeah, either. But
But
that'd be
also,
scary.
don't people don't people like or haven't people had experiences where they're in the bathtub and they see a ghost? I guess you
I
could
mean, in
see
the
it.
grudge,
Ugh, yeah, just kidding. Ugh.
I couldn't shower for months,
Every,
years. I
you
still
know
have
what?
nightmares.
Every time I shower
And you reach in the
since,
back of your head like this, and you're like, ooh.
well,
Ugh.
no. I
Oh,
always think there's something on the other side of the curtain.
that's Luke and Aspen's problem. They like to pull the curtain back because they're afraid that something is on the other side. It
Yeah,
freaks them out.
yes. I've always been that way.
I think that's just a trust issue. Like being vulnerable without knowing what's on the other side of the curtain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like anybody could just yank it open and, you know.
Yeah. I just tell myself that there is somebody there, and I'm like, oh, I'm ready. Like, I'm just gonna shower, but like, you do anything, I'm ready. I psych myself out, but
I
like,
just, you're like, you have so much confidence in yourself, and I just wish I had it. Like,
it's
I'm just,
totally fake, though.
maybe that's where I
That's the
need to
thing.
go. It's just like totally fake
But
confidence will get me somewhere.
anyway,
Huh.
life
That's a
lessons.
good lesson learned. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be confident next time I shower and be like, that's okay. I can do this.
Good. I really hope that for you.
Yeah.
Shower with confidence. Okay. Whew. So, where was I?
Or did
Oh
you
yeah, ghosts
ever
are
go
afraid
to
of
the
water.
bathroom and the shower curtain was closed and you like have to peek behind the shower curtain to make sure no one's there?
Yeah.
I did that
Well,
in
you know
the
what?
South Jordan neighborhood or the South Jordan house.
But do you remember why? Because our
No.
brother would hide in the shower and then wait till somebody comes in and then scare you.
Oh, I don't remember that.
He created that fear.
Oh, well, maybe I just shut it out of my head and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just
Same
scared of
thing.
the closed shower curtain now.
Well, same thing with like turning a corner, like a blind corner. He would like jump out. Or like if
Oh,
you
yeah.
open the door, he would like jump out as soon as you open the door. Like he did that a lot. And so I feel like a lot of anxiety was stemmed from him just jumping around from different places. Wow.
That's funny.
Mhm. Oh, in the past, we've talked about sirens and water babies when it comes to
Right.
water and
Yeah.
hauntings. Even waterborne cryptids like Mooney.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out. Um, and wow, I need glasses. Sorry, I tried to make my font smaller this time. So I'm like, I don't want it to seem like I have 17 pages of notes. And so I made it smaller, but now I'm just like, what the hell? Okay.
You can change it
Yeah, it's fine.
or wear glasses.
Another another popular entity tied to water that a lot of people truly believe in, and it was mentioned in my Facebook post, is La Llorona.
I don't know what that is.
Um, there's a lot of different podcast episodes that would explain this better, but here's like the brief summarization is that it's a Spanish American ghost that stems from a legend of a well, it's a Spanish American ghost who basically lives in and around water all over the place. Like she's not tied to one location. It's just all water.
Okay.
And she's heard crying, she's heard screaming, she's heard like moaning, and she's doing that because she's sad, and she's also looking for her children who in the legend story like of when she was alive, she killed her children by
Oh,
drowning them in water.
Interesting.
And then
Okay.
I don't know if she killed herself or what happened, but like now she haunts like all water.
Oh, yeah,
And
I don't
she's
think I've,
like culturally believed in.
huh.
Yeah.
I bet I've heard about it, but maybe it just didn't stick because I hear a lot of paranormal stuff about water, but that's one that just didn't spark a memory.
Maybe I'll
Huh.
do an On Deck at Dusk episode
Okay.
of that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. So people jogging along the river have reported seeing apparitions or shadow figures walking with them, following them, or walking towards them.
Oh shit. Following me would be the worst one to see.
Oh, yeah. Or like walking with you. So it's like, don't, you
You're
know,
like this
like, could you not?
it's like me trying to go with Josh on his little run. It's like, please stop.
Yeah.
This is an individual activity.
Like, oh my gosh, I see an apparition. Like, don't worry, that's just April trying to be involved.
Yeah, she just wants to be invited to things.
Oh, that's so funny. um, these apparitions though, they'll always appear, and then if like a bush or a tree ends up like blocking your view of them, then they disappear.
Huh.
Isn't that creepy?
Yeah.
Animals are known to sometimes act strange when walking in like near the river. So
It's all
Misty
the
B,
chemicals.
yeah, it's the fumes, like
Yeah.
the decomposing fumes.
Yeah.
But Misty B, she said that this story happened in the West Jordan part of the river. She said we were walking and a couple of guys on horses were going past. The horses started freaking out and didn't want to go near the bench on the trail. The guys eventually got their horses to go by. Is this making sense? Did I read that right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, the guys eventually got their horses to go by. We looked at the bench and saw that it was a memorial bench for a woman who had been murdered.
Oh my gosh.
Um, when Misty had gone home and searched the woman's name on her computer, she found that this person was an avid horse rider. So it's interesting that the horses acted
Wow.
strangely.
Interesting. That's crazy.
Yeah. Um, a commenter named Julie S. She said in 1998, my boyfriend at the time and I decided to walk the river at night. We were in Murray by the golf course. We saw this black shadow coming towards us from the other direction. It gave me a really bad feeling, so we turned around and started walking back. I turned around and it was getting closer and closer. It looked like a man, but no face. Finally, we get to the truck and get in. We looked back, and the dark shadow figure was nowhere to be found. I never forgot about that. It was scary. I would never walk around the river, and it freaked my boyfriend out as well. He was walking back just as fast as I was. So they both
Shit.
saw it.
That's crazy. When you can both see it, that's enough confirmation for me that I'm not seeing things.
Right. Exactly.
That's crazy.
Okay. Another commenter named Ashley O. She said, I lived in the Callaway apartments close by, and I can tell you that there have been some weird happenings. Do you know where the Callaway apartments are?
Oh,
Do you
that
remember those
sounds
ones?
very, yeah, it sounds very familiar.
98 and the riverbanks. So like,
Okay, yeah.
where how it goes like down and then up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just on the up part.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, I almost got a speeding ticket there one time. Fun fact. But anyway. Okay, so she said, I have been here for about 4 years now. I have seen some stuff coming across the golf course from the direction of the river. We have unfortunately have had a few recent incidents of people passing away here. I have seen shadow people flying around. They have been working on the sewer systems and they have blocked part of the flow of the river, and that has upset things big time. There have been times when my neighbors are gone during the day and it's just me at home, and it feels like an earthquake shaking my apartment slightly, but there's no record of one for that day. I have had some
Wow.
spirits caught in my apartment. she said in parentheses, I'm sensitive of sorts. Then she says, so I get them passing through from time to time. It's honestly interesting some days.
Hmm.
Then because I asked her, like, have you been able to capture anything, like, as far as pictures or videos inside your apartment?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, not yet, I haven't. As soon as I be able to get it set up to where I um, can get all points of view in my apartment, I'll definitely share if I catch anything.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I told her, I'm like, I'm gonna definitely follow up because I would love to know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and like it's interesting that she lives like so close to the river that it's almost like feeding into her
Yeah,
apartment. Possibly, I don't know, but
possibly.
like
Yeah.
interesting, huh?
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Especially if they're like blocking the sewer, like if they're blocking it and like if it's all memory and stuff, and like she said that upset things, it's like,
Yeah.
what if it was like, I don't know, energetically like just stopping the flow. So it's just like, ah,
So now they can move around or now they can't move around or whatever.
yeah, right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Like
traffic jam.
like a blood clot, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Um, lastly, well, almost second to lastly, shout out to episode, I believe, 2 when I talked about Jean Baptiste.
Yeah.
I briefly mentioned that there were skeletal remains that were found at the north end of the Jordan River, where like it connects to the Great Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Those remains were found in 1890. Some believe that they were the remains of Jean Baptiste, or it could have been an unsolved homicide. We don't know.
Oh,
So I just wanted to give a little like shout out to that. We don't know about that. So one last thing, as far as crime goes at the Jordan River, I have a link that I'm going to share that I think is just wild. It's a YouTube link. And what I want you to look at isn't even the video, but the comment section of this video.
okay.
Because there are some back and forth conversations about what the hell might be going on as far as crime goes in the Jordan
Okay.
River. And it's just like, what? And it's fairly recent too. So let me send this to you. So this is a video done by a channel called Utah Stories. They have like around 4,000 subscribers. But in this video, they're doing an investigation, or they're investigating a potential Jordan River serial killer who is targeting the homeless and or young female sex workers.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's what the video is about.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, like the comment section is where I was like, what in the hell? So I'm not saying that this is what is actually happening, but the comment section is worrisome. Someone was claiming that they personally know, let's see, that they personally, sorry, I'm missing words here. I think it's, I meant to say, know 15 different people who are now gone. And some of them apparently were found deceased in the Jordan River.
Mm.
This person commenting said that she has a roommate who has been keeping tallies of how many homeless people have been found in the river. And she said it's about 34 in the last 2 years.
Wow.
Someone commented and said, quote, about 2 years ago, I was in the Taylorsville Walmart and this guy was saying that he was a serial killer. The police didn't do shit. If that guy ever comes up on the news or some shit, I'm gonna be sick. And
Oh,
that was 4 months
yikes.
ago.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to do a story on the possible homeless serial killer in Salt Lake City. The problem is like in Utah stories, like I was watching that video, but
Mhm.
they've had issues getting information from the police department. The police department has put on their Twitter that there's no grounds or evidence that there is a serial killer. So they're saying that it's like fear mongering or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but it's like because on the Utah Stories video, they are interviewing a couple homeless people and that it's hard to count them as credible sources. So I was trying to find like the only one and only sources. So I've been trying to
Right.
find reports of like missing people or missing individuals that claim that they were at the Jordan River or whatever. But that's also hard because not all homeless people are reported missing. They just go missing. So,
Right.
because they don't have loved ones in the area, or the only people that know that they're missing are those who are also homeless, and no one feels like they're credible. So, it's a really hard story to cover
Mm-hmm.
when the information is spotty. But yeah, it is something that's like concerning because we have a really huge homeless population in Salt Lake City, and
Yeah, we do.
it's really disturbing. It's fine. I feel like the priorities are about money. So,
Mm-hmm.
hmm,
That's it. The end.
nice. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The Jordan
Right.
River is such a like like I said, me and the boys go and walk it sometimes, and I've never really felt uncomfortable in the South Jordan area that we used to walk and like feed ducks. Well, not feed ducks. We'd actually just chase ducks, but um it
Even better.
was just when the boys were toddlers, they weren't fast enough.
Yeah.
They were as fast as the waddling ducks going wah, 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 wah.
Right. Like
You
not
know.
really a threat.
Right. Um But anyway, so I never felt uncomfortable there, but I would never go by myself. And I would never want
Yeah.
anyone I know to go by themselves just because you hear so many stories of like people being attacked when they're on a run or um whatever.
Oh my gosh.
It's too scary. Just don't go anywhere by
Not
yourself.
worth the risk.
It's
Yeah.
not. Get a dog at least that's
Yeah.
gonna protect you. Take a dog with you because yikes.
Like a Doberman.
Yeah. That's as big as freaking you are.
Yeah. Or take a horse.
Yeah.
Just go horse riding. Just get a horse.
Yeah, just get a horse. Like anybody can afford a horse.
uh, you know what? They should really bring back horse travel though. Like that should really be more
If I
mainstream.
lived in like Richfield, I would totally just ride a horse everywhere.
I
You
think it'd be
know?
brilliant because like it would help the environment. It would
Mm-hmm.
open up jobs because somebody's got to scoop up all the shit off the streets,
Yeah. I
feed the
don't think we're too
horses.
far away from you can take this out too because it's gonna make me sound like a lunatic, but I don't feel like we're too far from not being able to use our cars anymore because the balloons from China, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried about those. They take out our computer system, our power, our internet, our satellites, our whatever. We're goners.
You know what I think though, really?
Mm.
Because they've been predicting that the Chinese will do this to us forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that we have a backup plan that we're not revealing because we're like, try us. You know what I mean? Like, I really
Yeah.
do believe it that we're like, oh, yeah, it's going to be horrible if they do it. Oh, please don't. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
truly believe that's just my fake confidence again. You know what I mean? Where
I
it's just
love
like,
your fake
bring it.
confidence. Because you know what? My lack of confidence and like super like in your face lack of confidence is really causing me a lot of anxiety. So
Just
let's
start
just
faking it then. Normalize
like,
faking your confidence.
we got it. Everything's fine. I
Yeah.
look good. Nothing matters.
It really doesn't matter. We all end up in the same place in the end. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, if
We
we
got
die, we
it.
die. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway. Oh,
Anyways.
so thanks for listening to our episode.
Yeah, be careful around the Jordan River.
Uh-huh.
Um,
If we die, we die.
if we die, we die. If we don't die, then just live your life to the fullest in safety and in health.
Yep.
And just,
Right, what else? What else? What else?
what else do we
Oh,
say?
guess what?
What?
I forgot to mention this in the beginning. And you know what? I bet nobody's gonna hear. Oh, by the way, no, I got a few things to say. Nobody's gonna hear this except for a couple people because we got 2 responses back about episode 36. So thank you. The consensus is that we have thumbs up. It was a good episode.
We're 2 for 2.
Yep.
All
So
right.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. I don't think. So anyway, thank you for those responses. We really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
we appreciate you.
And now we know that at least 2 people are listening to this right now, which thank you so much for listening to this part of the
Yeah.
episode.
Though, to be fair, we did ask for reviews at the beginning of the last episode.
Oh, it was the beginning, huh?
So no one's
Well,
listening to
okay.
the end.
Yeah, well.
So
Anyway,
we don't even need to do an outro because no one's gonna hear it.
exactly. We could just end and be like, okay, bye. And then like end it and people will be satisfied. I feel like.
Probably. We don't need to say all the things.
No, but we're going to.
Let's be petty and just like totally shut down
Yeah.
and be mad.
Right? You'd be like, no, I don't want to say it. You're not gonna
Bye.
listen anyway.
I'm not even gonna ask you to follow us on Instagram and Twitter and
I don't even want you to be a Patreon member. I don't even want you to listen to those bonus episodes. Those aren't even for you anyway.
yeah, I mean they are out every month on the 1st, and
Mhm.
like I don't
We
want you to
work our
listen to
asses
it.
off for all this shit that we do for you guys, but it's fine. You
Yeah,
don't have to listen.
I don't want you to listen. I don't want you to share us, like us, review us, anything. Just don't.
Just
Is
did you
there
believe us?
is the reverse psychology working?
It hurts.
We're really sad.
I'm like about to cry. I'm like, don't. Please don't. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Well,
um
are we
oh
done being
and
emotional?
hold on, let me just like tell you one more thing.
Okay.
I had to return the Furby, you guys. I got a
Oh yeah.
Furby. Oh, I don't even know if our listeners even know if they're not on our Instagram. I got a Furby, you guys. Cooper, shut up.
Yeah.
That was me. Did you
Shush.
hear me?
Stop. Shh. That's enough from you. Okay.
So I got a Furby on eBay and it said brown eyes working.
Oh.
Came. And then it had batteries included. So I put it all because it had like batteries in it, but it wasn't like screwed in together. So like it didn't turn on.
Mm-hmm.
Screwed it in and it worked for like a little bit, but then like it just kept turning off by itself and like not turning back on no matter what I did. I tried re hard like doing the hard reset thing and like soft
Rehard set.
reset, re hard set. Yeah. Hard reset and then the soft reset, and neither of those worked. And then and I tried different sets of batteries. That didn't work. And so then I left a review on eBay and I was just like, I'm sorry, sir, but your listing was deceitful because this Furby does not work. I would like to return it and get my money back. And he said, I didn't mean to be deceitful. Sure, send it back. I'll give you your money back. So I sent it back and I'm going to get me a new Furby eventually. So,
And our plan is to watch a scary movie with them and see if they react to it.
yeah. Oh, that'd be so fun. And honestly, I'm kind of wanting to get like more than one Furby. I think I want a collection. I might start a new collection of Furbies. They are so cute.
They're so cute. And I love that Luke was freaked out at first and then fell in love with it.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's watched that movie, The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Oh, yeah.
And there's that whole scene. And so like he's just like programmed to think that Furbies are creepy and bad.
Yeah.
And so when we got it, he was like, why did you get that? And I'm just like, because it's cute and fun. And he was just like, I mean, it's kind of cute. And then he warmed up to it very fast.
Oh, good.
So,
well,
yeah.
but they are freaked out by your doll, though, right?
Uh, not anymore. Oh, it's covered. Not anymore. Everybody's
That's
kind
good.
of forgotten that she's even there. I
Oh.
don't think she's haunted.
Oh, good. That's nice.
Yeah, she doesn't give off creepy vibes. She just gives off like a doll.
So like a plastic item, but vibe.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
So
Nice.
anyway, yeah, that's.
Well,
I think that's it.
yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, bitches.